Perfect. Alrighty.
Hello.
Welcome back to all the soldiers and monkeys out there. The Elevate and Penetrate podcast, episode 11 now.
Wow.
11 already?
11 already. Episode 10 hasn't dropped yet. It'll be dropped before this, of course, but we're dropping that tomorrow. That we did at C3. It was me, Corbin, and Ahmed and Eddie.
Yeah.
So yeah, we did that out of nowhere. We didn't really plan for it, but yeah, that was episode 10, a little special podcast. But
Yes, sir.
We're back, episode 11, Elevate and Penetrate podcast, where we're talking about elevating life.
2 seconds.
Okay.
You guys are good. No.
Okay, just making sure. Oh, there you go. Thank you, sir. Where was I talking about again?
Explaining the name.
Oh, yeah. Where we're talking about elevating in life, elevating in martial arts, and penetrating our goals. And that's
usual.
it, man. That's what it's about.
Yeah.
We're just elevating and penetrating every day. And we got a very special guest today. We've had him on a podcast before, but we've got Master Sensei Jake Fernie.
AKA both our fathers.
Both our fathers. He'll explain the story behind that, but
Master and Sensei, that you definitely need to get those out of there because I am neither of those.
well, you're definitely a master and sensei in spanking, so
Yeah. That's
can we at least give you that?
All right, I'll take that one.
We'll put up some clips right here of his spanks, man. Let's just say
They're pretty fucking hard.
Jesus, that was loud, dude. Let's just say I walk around the gym now, and I gotta watch myself. I can't be bending over, or at least I gotta be bending over while grabbing my ass cheeks.
Always staying on my toes.
Dude, yeah.
So,
Listen here, man. All I'm trying to teach you guys, okay, is situational awareness, okay? You can't only focus on shit that's in front of you, right? You gotta keep your head on a swivel, okay?
Yeah.
And if you're not keeping your head on a swivel and you don't feel somebody sneaking up behind you to give you one of these, that's your own damn fault.
Exactly.
That
What if
translates
that
to
was-
life too.
What if that's out in the fucking streets or whatnot, and some dude walks up
That's
to you and all of a
true.
sudden, give me
Yeah.
your money, bitch.
That is
true.
true.
That's a really good point. Yeah. So
We
that's why he's our
appreciate
coach.
that is why he's our coach. What makes Coach Jake such a great coach? So, when we're around the gym and I go to bend over, let's just say I'm aware. But yeah, man, special guest today. I'm gonna give it over to you, man. I'll start off with a broad question. How's everything, man? How's life been?
Life in general, man, is, it's busy and it's good. Potentially, some big changes coming up. I'm not gonna get super in depth on this until anything actually does become official.
Right.
But potentially some big life-changing kind of stuff coming up, but also potentially not. So let's just kind of say that, just kind of leave it at that and say that I've got a lot of thinking and a lot of praying to do about this. Maybe I'm not the most, strictly religious person in the world, anymore. I mean, definitely not as much as I used to be when I was younger and whatnot, but you have to believe that there's some sort of higher power out there.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, got a lot of thinking to do, a lot of praying on this. But besides that, though, man, I'm alive.
Hey, what's
Yeah.
up?
Phrase
you always say, man.
Yeah. If you're alive, it's got to be at least a 5. So,
True. I like that.
yeah. But
Hey,
what about you guys? I know you're in the midst of fight camp right now, so
Yeah.
things got to be.
It's
gotta
been
be
good,
going
man.
pretty
It's been good. Just got back from Arizona. That was a surreal experience. We went over to the MMA lab and Red Hawk Academy, Tim and Sean O'Malley's gym. That was a surreal experience, you guys. But before I even get into that, the viewers probably don't even really know, or probably most of you guys do know. This is all jokes aside. This is one of the main coaches at Charlie's Combat Club. I know he doesn't want to hear this, but definitely one of my greatest mentors in life, and I truly wouldn't be here without you, Jake. All jokes aside, seriously, thank you for so much that you do around the gym.
All jokes aside, man. I tell people this all the time. If I'm not talking specifically about martial arts technique or anything, don't listen to half of the bullshit that comes out of my mouth.
I don't know, man. You were speaking some facts earlier. But yeah, man. Just thank you for being in our lives. Very, very thankful for you. And honestly, so thankful to even have you on this podcast. This is a good time already.
I would never like think that you'd actually agree to come on, talk to two idiots like us.
Because like, dude, that's one thing that I'm like, I still can't wrap my head around is that like, I can't believe people actually somewhat watch this shit. Like, dude,
I know.
I'm such an idiot, dude.
Every
I
time
say
I walk in C3, I feel like I'm that little fucking 12-year-old that just annoys the fuck out of everyone
Same
in the
here,
fight
bro.
team,
Same here.
including coach and like everyone. But then like it's like, oh, okay, maybe there's times where like we could chill and hang out. And, like,
Yeah.
I would never expect you guys to actually tag along. So
Yeah.
yeah.
What's funny too is that the sense of humor is always the same, bro. Maybe it's just guys, but the sense of humor is just like universal across the board. It's hilarious. Coming.
And off goes Bilal to go get some food.
Look at him.
But on that note, though, I mean,
Yeah.
about people wanting to tune in and watch the podcast and whatnot, it's like, oh, is mine up too? Yeah. Oh, okay, cool. Hold on a sec. Hold
All right,
that
yep.
thought. I'll be right back.
Oh shit, Jake, can you also grab an extra straw? Yep, thanks. Sorry, what was he talking about?
He was going off on what I was talking about, saying how like we're two idiots, and he had like a thought, but now he's just getting his.
He's probably like, yeah, these guys are idiots.
He's not wrong.
Speaking of that, man, like, I'll kind of go back to what we were talking about before, going to Arizona.
Yeah.
Very humbling experience, bro. We were talking about that before this. It's just like, I thought it was the shit. Then I went there and I was like, I wasn't the shit. But I feel that every day, you know what I mean? Going with Vassal, going with Jake. It's just so good, and it's so exciting to me because there's like, I'm only 22 and I have so much more to learn.
Oh, yeah.
That is just good to feel those levels of, you know, rolling with Jake, rolling with Vassal, going with the guys at the MMA lab. It's like, it's cool to feel that level and just experience it, right? Because it's like, okay, that now I have like a baseline to like strive for and then break through. You know what I
Right.
mean? So it's just like, it's just another marker to be like, okay, that's what I need to do. You know what I mean? What are they doing? What are they doing because they're so good, right?
Yeah, and that's
what are
gonna
they
help
doing?
you level up
Exactly.
eventually. And you're still, dude. You're only what 3-0.
Yeah, but fuck, it's moving too fast, bro.
It is moving
Yeah,
fast, but
yeah.
you're still in the beginning of your career, so.
Hell yeah.
That is deadly.
What did you get?
I think it's the avocado protein shake. So
I
yeah,
used
it's
to
got
get
the
that a lot.
avocado, peanut butter, protein powder.
Yeah. I'm assuming you got the
that's-
Iditarod.
Super good, right?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. And then I got the Iditarod, apple, pineapple, almond milk, protein powder. This shit's good. It's more refreshing. Try it.
It's fruity.
Fruity, just like me.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, that's not bad. I like that. Yeah.
But sorry, before I cut you out, Jake, what were you talking about here? If you can collect yourself.
I mean, just kind of jumping on you, you were saying like, you know, you can't believe that people actually tune in and watch this podcast and whatnot. Man, have you heard some of the fucking podcasts that are out there? Some of
That
the,
is true.
Some of the retards that are out there.
Yeah.
There's these two. I swear I can't remember the name of their podcast, but I see their clips all the time whenever I'm, you know, mindlessly scrolling through TikTok and whatnot. And I swear to God, like, part of me like is telling myself, okay, this has to be an act. But one of them, I swear to God, is so goddamn stupid. It's like, I sit there and I watch their clips and I'm like, how have you made it this far in life? Like, seriously. I mean, like, just like basic ass knowledge questions and like
Yeah.
basic knowledge that everybody should know. Like, if you make it through high school and you at least graduate, right?
Yeah.
You should know some of this shit. And he's just
Right.
like, huh? Like,
Maybe that's the entertaining part.
oh my God.
Sometimes being an idiot is entertaining to other people.
True.
This-
Maybe
this
that's
is
why
true.
people watch mine, bro. I'm
That-
a fucking idiot, dude.
That's true. Not with your hands though.
That's true.
You be calculating your punches,
That's true. That is true.
right, Coach?
I haven't had a part in his stand-up, man. I mean, I've only had a part in his jiu-jitsu and whatnot. That's really all I've had a part in. I mean,
That's fair.
That is true.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest. I think I've maybe had you in one kickboxing class, and maybe that was when like you very first started at C3, and that was just because we don't let brand new people into the gym and just immediately start sparring. So I mean, yeah, that was probably the one time I think I've ever had you in a kickboxing class, and I saw, okay, this kid knows what he's doing. This
now
kid
he's
can be
teaching advanced
controlled and whatnot,
kickboxing.
and yeah, and that was it. I mean, like, dude, no, like, and I use you as an example all the time. People always ask, like, hey, when can I start sparring? You know, or like when people sign up or whatnot. It's like, man, that honestly depends, you know. And I mean, like Charlie and I give that answer to people all the time about martial arts questions and whatnot. It's like, it depends. I hate giving that answer sometimes, but really honestly, sometimes there's really no better answer than just it depends. I mean, it just depends on the individual, depends on the situation, you know. I've had people now at the gym for, you know, I've had some people who've been training with us for over a year and they still haven't started sparring yet.
Right.
You literally came in on one day and was like, okay, this kid can handle himself. Yeah, go spar, right? You're fine, right? Yeah, exactly, you know. You know, so I mean, it's hard to put everybody into their own cookie cutter mold, so to speak. You know, everybody's different. So that's the cool thing, but sometimes challenging thing about what we do. So
Yeah.
That leads me into perfect. My first question for you, Mr. Jake. What advice do you have to someone that just wants to get started on their martial arts journey? Like, I mean, it probably is an easy question, but like, what if their goals are to have their first fight, get into that cage? What's your advice to them? Not even professional, just getting into the cage, amateur, kickboxing, whatever, even competing jiu-jitsu. What's your advice to them?
Probably the biggest piece of advice I give to people whenever they say, you know, they want to fight or they want to compete one day, I mainly honestly just look back at my own career and I try to obviously, I mean, I think that's kind of every coach's goal is to be able to look back at their own mistakes and be able to educate the next generation and whatnot.
Yeah.
I tell people just don't rush it, right? I mean, literally, I mean, like,
Even I need to hear that right now.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, enjoy the process. Enjoy the process of being a student and learning something new, right? It's not to say that I didn't do that, but I mean, like we talked about on, you know, the podcast, the one time I've been on the podcast, remember all at it, you know, at Daddy's house. Right?
You guys don't know. Yeah.
So every time you hear
It's not
us
Coach
referring,
Charlie.
yeah, it's not Coach Charlie. We're talking about Vassal.
But no, I mean, like I said, dude, I mean, like I had literally been at Charlie's for a week before I had, you know, before I had my first fight.
That is true. I remember
You know,
that story.
so, and I mean,
That's so
yeah, granted, was my situation a little bit different. You know, I haven't been doing martial arts since I was 5. Not grappling martial arts, but I mean, like I've been training since I was a kid. So yeah, I've had, you know, at least a little bit more experience than the average person going into probably their first fight. But still, at the same time, I mean, when I look back at my first 3 amateur fights that I had that summer, dude, I was trash. I mean, like I'll say it for lack of a better term. I mean, like if I'd have, you know, maybe just taken that summer to not actually start fighting, but to just, okay, let's just start building up a skill set, right? Let's start learning the game of mixed martial arts more, right? Understanding, you know, especially at the time, a lot more of, you know, the grappling and the jiu-jitsu and whatnot. You know, I probably would have had a lot more success, you know, early on than I did. But, you know, that's my biggest thing is just don't be in a rush. Enjoy the
what's up,
process
guys?
and just enjoy the ride.
Yes, sir.
What's up, guys?
Where'd you guys come from?
Swear to God, you guys, this was not planned. Joe DiMatteo.
What's up, buddy?
Did I get that right? Yeah. Special guest. What's up, Fonza?
Mr. Joe.
Mr. Joe.
Good to see you.
That's crazy.
That's so. Oh yeah, you guys come here every Friday night, right? Or not really? What the heck?
I thought I saw it. I could have swore as we were talking here, I thought I saw you walking out there. I was like, is that Joe? Maybe it is. I don't know.
What happened? Did you injure yourself? Yeah. Again, I still, yeah.
Shout out Nick Cementi from Ivans. Sprained my MCL.
Shit. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Joe.
Never mind. Don't shout him out.
You don't need surgery, right? You just need PT and shit? Okay.
Shout out my future opponents who are taking this information and using it against me.
I like that. Yeah, good people. Let's go. Crossing our fingers. Good to see you too, bro.
See you guys.
Dude, that's great advice, Jake. And honestly, I needed to hear that because I was talking to Eddie. I was just like, I just don't want to. I feel like I'm not that I'm rushing things, but I just feel like everything's moving so fast, and I still have so much more to learn. And so, I needed to hear that for sure, man.
And I mean, like, playing devil's advocate, you know, I mean, obviously I never went pro, but I mean, I understand.
Wait, how many amateur fights do you have? Sorry to cut you off.
17, right?
Say that again, just
How many amateur fights did you have?
There you go, just because you didn't have the mic there.
That's true. Thank you. It's professional.
Let me think. Eight, 6, 2, 1, 17.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
That is a lot.
Wait,
why didn't you go pro then?
I gotta really think about that.
Wow.
What was your question?
Why didn't you go pro if you had 17 amateur fights?
It wasn't my choice.
Oh, okay.
It's never been
a
my choice.
Oh.
No, I came into Charlie's with full trust in him and the coaching staff there to say, hey, when they turn me pro, I am ready to go pro.
Right.
It's not something that I'm gonna push. It's not something that, that I'm gonna force on them. They're my coaches for a reason.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You trust the process and you trust that they are gonna turn you to that level when you're ready to go to that level.
Right.
Did I have a lot of experience and stuff? Yeah, I mean, it's a decent bit, but I mean, there's guys out there who had way more amateur fights than me before they turned pro. Two local guys that I can think of. Ben Fodor had, I think, over 20 amateur fights or something like that before he went
Damn.
pro. Drew Brokenshire had, I want to say, like, over 30 or something like that combined
Jeez.
between MMA, kickboxing, his smokers and stuff. Dude, he had easily over 30 amateur fights before he went pro.
But I feel like that was at a different time, though, right? I feel like you could just fight every weekend if you wanted to. Like, I feel like nowadays, like even the amateur scene, people are so pick and choosy about their opponents. They're trying to have a good record, and so it's a lot harder to find fights nowadays. And correct me if I'm wrong. That's just from my experience, and even like some of the experience of people in the gym now too. It's like it's really hard for people to find fights like pretty consistently, and so. What do you think of that?
I feel like there is a little bit of that still, yeah. I mean, maybe back then it was a little bit harder to find film on guys and whatnot. You basically just had to kind of go off of, okay, hey, have you ever heard of this person? Or, hey, have you ever seen this person fight? Or
Ask around town. Go to the local bar. Hey.
Yeah, and then sometimes if you've never heard of that person before, then, well, son of a bitch, I guess I just got to go based off of that record. And, okay, they're telling me that he's got this many fights and this is his record, this is where he's from. Okay, maybe he's from so-and-so gym. Okay, they're going to be trash. Okay, yeah, I can take them. Okay, they're from AMC. Fuck, that's going to be a super tough fight. Nope, we're not taking that one yet, right? I mean, but I mean, especially nowadays, I mean, with, the big influx of social media and everything like that, I think it's a lot easier for people to find film on each other and whatnot. And then, obviously, I mean, like, no matter what level you're at, amateur or pro, everybody wants to have that nice shiny record and whatnot.
Yeah.
Dude, honestly, with me, I didn't give a fuck. Honestly.
As you should.
Like, dude, it was the amateurs. The only time I have ever turned down a fight was because I was already locked in and booked for a title fight, and it was my retirement fight.
True.
I was locked in for that fight, and there just happened to be a, hey, somebody pulled out. Would you be interested in taking this fight on this other show?
Yeah.
And I had already told Charlie, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm already locked in for your show. I'm not going to break that commitment. I already have this fight that I'm already getting ready for.
Fair.
Yeah.
So I mean, that was the only time though that I've ever turned down a fight. And I mean, in the amateur ranks, when really, let's be completely 100% honest, your record doesn't mean a fucking thing anyways.
Yeah.
You're supposed to take fights. You're supposed to get that experience. And I mean,
Right.
I think nowadays just a lot of these young kids coming into the sport, they look at that amateur record like, oh my God, this is going to be, oh man, this is so important. It's like, motherfucker, no, it doesn't. Once you turn pro, nobody gives a fuck about that anymore.
That is true.
Right?
Yeah.
So true.
The only thing that matters is what your record is once you turn pro, because now it actually means something. Right? Amateur ranks, who gives a flying fuck? You know what I'm saying? I mean, like, there's been plenty of amateurs out there, I'm sure, who've had garbage records.
Yeah.
But then as soon as they turn into the pros, right, okay, because they had that experience, they got to work on their tools, they got to challenge themselves against other really good high-level amateurs. Okay, by the time they got to the pro ranks, okay, hey, they're actually ready for that challenge, rather than, okay, hey, I'm going to pick and choose and I'm going to only beat up the guys who have shit records and whatnot, or I'm only going to take the favorable fights. Then all of a sudden, hey, we get to the pros and then, oh fuck, now you get introduced to these killers and then, oh shit, now you're getting your shit wrecked, and it's like, well, now you start off your pro career, okay, 0-3 or 0-4. Good luck having a promoter find a fight for you, offer you any kind of decent money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I get it. When you get to the pros, you want to be a little bit more pick and choosy sometimes, right? Mm-hmm. But I mean, dude, in the amateurs, it really shouldn't fucking matter. Just go and fight. I mean,
That's great advice for any amateurs out there. Just go out there and fight, man. Like, I was doing that a lot in my amateur career. Like, I had 6 fights in a year and a half. I wish it was, it was fucking crazy, dude. I remember, like,
Fighting every week.
yeah, there was one time, like, I fought 1 week, and then, like, it was 2 weeks later, and then 2-day notice, hey, you want to fight again? I was like, fuck it. Yeah, that was fucking.
Wasn't that one of your? Wasn't that shortly after you won the Koga belt, and then I think you
That too. I
defended it?
did that as well. I did it twice technically.
That's right,
Yeah, I
yeah.
did it twice. But I missed that shit, dude. I almost want to like
Go
go.
back?
Yeah, I just want to like fake my name and go back to amateurs or some shit, or like
It's the
go on
shit-
street beefs. What do you think? What do you think of that, coach?
No. But it's funny you bring that up though, because I mean that's something that I mean, like, when I hear the pros, complaining, in the past and whatnot too, when I've heard them complain about, fuck man, I want to fight again, I need to find a fight, I want to find a fight again, and it's like, dude, like, you had to expect that,
Yeah.
right? In the pros, it's definitely a lot harder to find those fights, right? It's harder to stay active in the pros,
That's how I feel right now, man. Like, I'm so sick of training. I just want to fight. So I'm like, damn, I wish I was an amateur. I could just be fighting every other week. That shit was so much fun.
It was definitely also nicer too. I mean, like, during my amateur career when, Charlie still had his amateur promotion going and everything like that. Dude, whenever I wanted to fight, all I had to do was literally just text coach, hey, when's our next show? So-and-so date. Can I get on it? Yeah, I'll start looking. And then sometimes, literally that day, I get a text back. Hey, got a fight for you. Cool. What weight? That's all I'd ask. Sweet, done. I'll be there.
I remember those days.
Yeah.
That was
All right.
awesome.
But
Setting up the cage. we used
Right?
to set up the cage.
Dude,
I helped do that a couple of times too, yeah, and help tear down and stuff. Yeah, I remember doing that a
there
couple
was
of times.
one
yeah.
point in my amateur career that I was trying to take fights so often that like one week, like there was this guy that was like 3 weight classes above, and then like this was the day before, and coach was like, you want to fight? I'm like, you know what, fuck it, let's run it. And so I remember that whole like night, and even into the next day, we weren't even sure if that guy accepted it yet. So I was just sweating my ass off, just thinking, holy shit, I might fight tomorrow. I might fight. This guy's about to be 155. Let's go though. Let's go.
Sometimes though, man, I mean, speaking from experience, I mean, like sometimes the last minute fights, sometimes those are the best ones to have. You know what I mean? Like,
were the best.
yeah, I mean, like I said, I mean, like my very first fight. Oh, Jesus!
How did that even?
Why don't you calm down there, son? Jesus!
What the fuck?
I was just thinking about my amateur career. I was like, God damn it, I miss it.
Settle down. Settle down.
Settle down.
All
Sorry,
right?
Father.
Jesus. But no, I mean, like, dude, my very first fight, I remember it was Thursday. It was Thursday before the fight. I walk into the gym, and at the time, right, our gym manager, Chris looks at me and he goes, he's on the phone, right? He's like, hold on a sec. Hey, what do you weigh?
Oh,
And I
gosh.
had no idea what that meant at the time. I was just like, why's this motherfucker asking me these personal questions, right? But I'm like, how about 162, 163? He's like, all right, going back. I'm like, all right, well, that was a weird ass question. All right, cool, right? So I head in the back. I start getting ready for class and ready for training and whatnot. Comes back a little bit later. He's just like, hey, we had a fighter fallout and we have an opening for Saturday. You want it? Yeah. All right, cool. Your book. It's at 170.
Oh, what the fuck?
How much were you wearing again?
About 62.
Okay.
Oh, wait. Oh, so you're bigger back then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I was fighting, I walked anywhere from like 160, 165-ish or
Okay.
so.
Nice.
Yeah. But yeah, that's another real thing. Like being a parent, that'll make you lose weight, and stress will definitely make you lose weight too. But yeah, I mean, like my first fight took on 2 days' notice. I took one fight.
Should have done it into the mic, dude. That would have been hilarious.
Nah, I ain't gonna torture y'all's ears and whatnot that way.
The fans would have loved it.
You did it in the shooting podcast.
That is
Around the
true.
woods and shit.
Around the woods. Yeah. We're tamed indoors.
But no, and then one other fight that I took, I remember, I was literally like couple days later, like after the fight, I was getting ready to go on vacation, right? But the day of weigh-ins, I walk into the gym, and I'm eating I'm eating out of a fucking to-go container of pho, right? So I'm stuffing my face full of noodles and shit, right? Chris again looks at me, right, and he's just like, "Hey, Charlie needs to talk to you for a second." All right, whatever. Get on the phone. What's up, coach? He's like, "Hey, bud, we had a guy fall out, right?"
Yeah.
And this was, it was a fight up in, it was actually up in Mount Vernon, and it was a hometown kid, right? And he was like, "Man, he's gonna be a ticket seller, right? We want to keep him on the card, right? I hate to ask you this, but do you want to fight? It'd be at 170 again." And dude, I hadn't been training hard or anything like that. I was actually just coming off of a loss in my first title fight, so my mind wasn't in it, right? But I was just like, fuck it, let's do it. Let's go.
That's crazy.
Right? So, finish my fucking soup, right? Drive back up to Mount Vernon, right? Go to weigh-ins and whatnot.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Get weighed in. I mean, I weighed in with all of my shit in my pockets, fucking, 164 or something like that, 165, something like that. He weighed in at like 168 or something like that. I was just like,
Belly full of soup.
"What's up, dude?" And I mean, I got my ass kicked in that one, but I mean, I was just, again, not making excuses. I mean, like, I probably shouldn't have taken that one, but fuck it, it's,
You got the experience.
yeah.
And you're telling that crazy story live on the Elevate and Penetrate podcast.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, there's definitely pros and cons, to the amateurs and stuff. It definitely is nice being able to take those last minute fights and whatnot, and having a lot more competition opportunities. Obviously, you're finding out now when you get to the pros, even if you do have contractual obligations to a company, that doesn't always mean anything. I mean, yeah, thankfully, in your instance, in your case, you're an exciting fighter to watch. You're marketable. You can sell tickets and stuff like that. People want to see you put on a show. I mean, fucking look what happened in your last fight. I think that speaks for itself, right?
Yeah.
But, I mean, like for the other, for the people who maybe aren't as marketable as you, maybe the people who don't have, those highlight reel finishes or anything
Wrestlers.
like that, right? Joe just looked up from his bowl of soup like, "That motherfucker, I swear to God."
I'm about to get KO'd right now.
He's gonna body slam you, bro.
Hey, all I'm gonna say is if you're gonna throw anything at him, just warn me, and I'll just make sure that I lean back real quick and let you throw.
Joe's just gonna suplex me the next time we start sparring. He's gonna suplex me. He's like, "Hey, remember that one time on the podcast you said that wrestlers were boring?"
Just let me know when that is so I can make sure I watch it and film it. I'll film that shit and then we'll post it on the blog and we'll get it in slow-mo.
Oh, that's gonna be hilarious.
But no, I mean, like getting back on topic here though. I mean, for a lot of the guys, and once they get to the pros, they do find that, fuck, dude, it really is hard to stay active and whatnot. I mean, and even in the UFC and whatnot. I mean, like when Miranda was in the UFC, I mean, yeah, she had however many fights on her contract, but they were only contractually obligated to offer her 3 fights a year.
Yeah.
3 fights a year.
Yeah.
Or it was something like that. I'm pretty sure it was 3, but I mean, just because they offer it doesn't mean that it's going to be a favorable matchup. I mean, they might be throwing you to the fucking wolves, or they might be throwing you against like the number 1 fucking contender or some fucking Dagestani murderer or something like that, and you have no idea. Yeah. And it's just like, yeah, sure, but it's definitely a lot harder. I've noticed, watching my teammates and whatnot in the pros, it's like, yeah, you have to be thankful for those opportunities when you get them, and when you do get them, you got to jump on it. You got to, you got to take advantage of it.
Well said. Great advice again.
But you do still have to be smart about it, though. I mean, if it's not a favorable matchup that's gonna help your career, there's no sense in taking it.
Yeah. That's why Shamel's a perfect matchup. Because I only fight cans. I'm kidding. He's got a good record. I'm excited for the fight. Probably gonna knock
Remind me
him
his
out.
record again?
6-2.
6-2-1.
Yeah.
6-2-1,
That's good.
yeah.
That's a good bit of experience. Yeah.
Nutcracker.
Does he have? He has a
No,
nutcracker.
actually, I
Oh no, no contest. That's
Yeah,
what we're
just
gonna
a no
call
contest.
it. That's what I'm gonna say, dude. When people are like, "What's your no contest for?" It's not no contest. It stands for nutcracker.
So what did we learn from that?
That that inside 10 from Southpaw is the deadliest weapon on earth.
He's not wrong.
And I'm just gonna
send your opponent to the fucking hospital after.
Dude, it's the nastiest kick. I mean, it's the most deadly. If I'm on the street, dude, if you saw my last vlog, we went to Arizona. We went to Northern Arizona University. We talked to this random Japanese girl, super cool girl. We were like, what? We were asking people, what's your go-to move in a street fight? She looks at Vassal and she kicks him in the nuts.
Very effective. She knows. Yeah.
She knows. Deadliest kick in the world.
To quote Mr. Miyagi, when done right, no can defend.
Dude, Eddie and I talk about this all the time, bro. We always bring Jacob. Dude, you know like every single line from every single movie, dude. It's so crazy. It's a goddamn superpower, dude.
It's not a superpower. I think I just might be slightly autistic or something like that.
Whatever it is, man. It's still a yeah.
Like, dude,
we gotta be a little bit autistic.
We
to
all
do
have
this shit.
random weird things that we're good at. Me, dude, I've just always been good at memorizing things. You know, I mean, just like whether it's movie quotes, whether it's, going back to like earlier in my life, like playing music and stuff, dude. I never had a problem memorizing music. I knew a lot of other my other fellow students and whatnot. Whether college level, whatever it was. People struggled memorizing music. Me, I never really seemed to have an issue memorizing music.
Dude, actually, that's a perfect segment because I've always wondered about like your background in music. You've never really fully explained it to us. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. You have a degree in music, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Can you go into a little bit of detail for the audience and me, bro? Because I'm genuinely so curious, dude. Let us know, Jake.
God damn it,
Not
man.
only
Now
are you a
you're-
martial artist, a coach.
Well, God damn it, now, because everybody always asks me, like, when they found out that, like, people are like, man, Coach, where'd you go to school? It's like, oh, I went to, Eastern Washington University, and they're like, what'd you major in? I always give people, I'm like, I'll give you 3 guesses. And then it's always a fun game because I wonder what people are gonna. And everybody always goes for like a lot of the stereotypical Asian things, like accounting. No.
Finance.
Business. No. You're a doctor. I look like a motherfucking doctor to you. Boy, oh man, no. So, but no. To answer that. So I started Taekwondo when I was 5, and then either shortly after or shortly before, I started taking piano lessons.
Typical Asian.
Yeah,
Dude,
no,
yeah,
exactly. Hey, typical Asian instrument. It was either you had to play the piano or you play the violin, right? One of the two, right? But piano was the one that was for me. I was really drawn to that. I still credit to this day my my preschool / kindergarten music teacher up at the private Catholic school that I went to. That dude was so amazingly talented. I mean, like, he could damn near play any instrument that he picked up. And watching him one day just sit down at the piano and be able to just rock the hell out and sing to us while he was doing it, I was just like, I want to learn that instrument. That's cool. Right?
Yeah.
Of all the instruments that he ever played in front of him, I was like, I want to learn that. Mm-hmm. And I remember, and my parents will attest to this too, they didn't sign me up for it. Like, I was the one going up to them and asking them, Mom, Dad, I want to learn how to play the piano. I want piano lessons. Mm-hmm. So my mom, my parents looked around. They found me an instructor. Played all the way through, elementary, middle school, high school.
Damn.
And for the longest time, I mean, like, I really honestly thought that music was going to be the central theme of my life, and that martial arts would still just kind of be just like a hobby that I did on the side, But I thought, for sure, I mean, especially when I went off to college, okay, hey, I'm gonna be, I'm gonna do my bachelor's first. I'll go on and do my master's, all the fun stuff and everything. Eventually get my doctorate, be a traveling, touring concert pianist, do clinics, seminars and stuff that my college professor does, Well, no, she still does, actually. Yeah, she's fucking amazing. Yeah. And I'll credit her as well, man. Both of my piano instructors, one, my first one that I had all the way through high school and everything, June Smith, she was easily one of the most influential people in my life. Because I didn't really grow up with grandparents. My dad's parents, unfortunately, passed before my parents adopted me. And then my one grandma that I did have on my mom's side, we didn't have the best relationship, and my mom unfortunately didn't have the best relationship with her either. So we didn't really have grandparents per se.
Yeah.
So having June, not only be my piano instructor, but basically somebody that I looked up to basically as my grandma, that was super influential in my life. And then when I got to college, learning and studying under Dr. Graves, dude, she was just, you talk about, like, you want to talk about passion. That woman is the literal dictionary definition of the word passion. Like, that woman lives, eats, and breathes music. Like, her life revolves around it. Like, she's absolutely amazing too. I always keep looking on, like concert calendars and stuff like that, because anytime that she's ever in this area, I definitely try my best to make sure that I can go and watch her play again, because she's just absolutely phenomenal. But kind of summarizing all that, you hear a lot of times, from people, they think, they go off to college thinking that, hey, I'm going to study this and this is going to be what I want to do. Like, you hear all these med school, like these med kids, like, I want to be a doctor. I want to be a doctor.
Yep.
They get through their first semester of med school. I don't want to be a doctor anymore, right? No, but I mean, like, dude, like, you really come to find out, like, hey, there's a lot more to this shit than you really think about, and than you think it is.
Oh, yeah.
I still remember to this day, dude, because I started off as a piano performance major, right? And as a piano performance major, I was expected to be spending at least 6 hours a day in a practice room.
Jeez.
6 hours a day.
Jesus.
Right. So
Beethoven.
I still remember many times after all of my classes, not just my music classes, but all of my general university requirements, your English, your math, all that other bullshit and whatnot.
Yeah.
Dude, I still remember so many goddamn times just being locked in the practice room in the music building, looking at my phone or looking at my watch and, fuck, it's midnight. God damn, I gotta pack my shit up and I gotta go get some sleep, right? Dude, I've fallen asleep in the practice rooms and whatnot. I mean, dude, it's rough, and I mean, that was also probably a big reason why, I ballooned up to 225 pounds, because I mean, I was smoking, I was stressed with my diet. I wasn't taking care of myself and whatnot. So yeah, unfortunately, it took me too long to realize it. I was basically 3/4 of the way through my junior year when I realized, I don't think this life is for me, and that's when, again, I had really kind of just really started getting back on the grind of martial arts again. I was like, maybe I want to give this a shot. I think I'm going to go after this. And to Dr. Graves' credit, and this is why I will always be like her number one fan and one of her biggest supporters, her support of me never wavered. Like, when I told her that I wanted to shift focus and whatnot, and that I didn't want to be a performance major, I just wanted to just finish out my general music degree and whatnot. See you guys. She was all for it, right? She looked at me like, I remember going into that meeting when I wanted to talk to her about it, and I was dreading what she was going to say. And she looked at me and she was just like, hon, I love that.
That's
and
cool.
she was
That's a good person.
absolutely all for it, throughout the my last year there, she was still just as supportive and everything as ever. When I graduated, same thing. She's like, hey, I wish you all the best of luck. Keep in touch. If I'm ever on the west side, or if you're ever on the east side, let's meet up. Let's go get coffee. Let's go get lunch. Whatever it is and whatnot. She honestly has been one of my biggest influences as a martial arts coach, because I still remember when I was a senior in high school. Doing all the college applications and stuff like that. And as a music major, you probably do want to go meet, that future professor that you might be spending the next 4 to 6, 8 years studying under, right? Mm-hmm. So my mom and I went over to Eastern. We went and had an interview with her and stuff like that. We sat down and everything like that. And I'll never forget this, dude. She looked at me and my mom and she said, my job is to make you better than me. Damn. And it's like, and that hit me, because here's a woman who literally has gotten to tour the world. She's gone to the Middle East, she's gone to Japan, she's gone all over the world with music, right? And to hear her say that her job is to make me better than her, I was like, how is that, like, wait a minute, how is that going to happen? Like, how are you going to give me this? Like, how are you going to give me that? Or how do you, like, why would you want to give me those tools? You know what I mean? And it hit home that, you know, that selflessness that we have to have as a coach, you know, and as a mentor in any activity, you know?
Yeah.
And I've started saying that now to, you know, to our students a lot more, you know, at the end of classes and whatnot, you know, especially on days when, you know, I'm being a little bit more of a hard ass, you know, than I normally am and whatnot. You know, maybe I'm having to smack a kid upside the head a couple more times because he's not keeping his left hand up or whatnot. Or, hey, you need to make sure that you're doing this or whatnot. And I'm constantly harping on him. It's like, guys, this is why I harp on you so much. My job is to make you better
than me. That's sick, dude.
And if I'm not actively trying to do that, what the fuck am I doing here?
Yeah.
You know, I might as well not even be here if I'm not trying to make you better and have you reach your fullest potential. Wow. So that's been the biggest, you know, honestly, that's been one of the biggest influences in my coaching life. And then obviously having Master Splinter be my coach and everything and seeing the way that he, you know, just selflessly gives to all of us and stuff like that. Some of my other assistant coaches that I had coming up and everything. Yeah, they've all basically embodied that same kind of ideology to make me better than them.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm not going to be better than them. I'm never going to be better than Charlie. I'm never going to be better than some of my other coaches that I've had. But fuck, I'm going to try my best, right? And at least they did what they could to give me those skills to get there.
Yeah,
So.
Jake, I needed to hear that too, man. But both stories, dude. Like, as much as you don't want to hear us say, hey, you're the sensei and master, but it comes full circle, bro. It comes full circle. And also what I got from that is I think we need to start a band, dude. You've got the piano and the vocals, I'm pretty sure. He's got the guitar and vocals. I can play the drums.
All right, so on that note, okay, first of all, number one, my piano is still at my parents' house.
I have a piano at my
touched
place.
it, and I haven't seriously touched it and sat down to play in probably 5 years.
You're fine, dude. It's just muscle memory.
No, it is not. It is.
Is it much different? Like, if you haven't trained in 5 years, really?
It is.
Shit.
Because you got to think.
That's fair. I get what you're
Relatively
talking about.
speaking, throwing a punch, throwing a kick, hitting a shrimp, hitting an armbar, rear naked choke. Those are big muscle movements. When you're dealing with, hold on a sec here. When you're dealing with this small, minute movement.
True,
and
I didn't think about
you're having to think about spanning potentially all 88 keys on that keyboard, and also having to think about using your feet for the pedals.
Yeah.
Right. And then thinking, okay, now this can't be as heavy here. I have to put this amount of pressure on these keys to get this right, perfect sound. Or this hand needs to be heavier, and this hand needs to be lighter.
Yeah.
Right? That's
Too much
such
for me, man.
minute muscle memory that if you don't keep up with it, gone. Absolutely gone. Right. So as much as I would, you know, you're not the only person who said, hey, we should start a band, or hey, we'd love to hear you play and stuff like that.
I think we just got to do it.
It's gone. It's absolutely gone. And then unfortunately, the other thing too, on the vocals and stuff, yeah, can I sing a little bit? Yes, but thankfully with choir, you know, thankfully also, 4 years of high school and college choir, I had to learn how to sing and everything. But one of the last times that I got choked unconscious in the gym, dude, it fucked my vocal cords up.
Oh, shit.
It fucked them up. Like, it rot. Oh, yeah. No, it did. My vocal cords were wrecked for, like, a solid 3 weeks. I couldn't talk right for, 3 weeks. Normally, I was always yelling and screaming in class and having that high energy. My voice level was basically cut in half, right? And then, oh, fuck, right? And then as I'd be trying to sing in the car and whatnot on my ride home and whatnot, and,
Damn.
oh, fuck. Oh, shit. Okay, well, I guess I'm not hitting them high notes anymore. I guess I've got a very limited range. So, the vocals are probably not happening no more.
Oh, gosh. But we'll get it started.
It's the rough life of being a martial artist, right? The physical toll.
Everything at once, I feel like.
We might have to be the first, man, with all the music I'm putting out. We'll do C3 band, C3 martial arts. But I think we got to cap it off there, boys. Yeah. Yeah. Perfectly. Right on 9.
Yeah.
He's got a time cap on here, and he's like 9 o'clock. Get the fuck on out of here, boys.
Yeah, it's 9 p.m. They're closing.
Fuck, Jesus,
yeah.
look at that.
I
Time
know.
flies when we're having fun, right?
Literally.
We gotta have another podcast with you.
Oh no, this is this won't be the last at all, dude. Mr.
No,
Jake
I'll
Ferdy.
get back on again.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. of course I'll
Pleasure.
come
Thank
back
you for
on.
all
Yeah.
that advice, all those experiences, those stories you had. Definitely learned a lot.
I mean, I wasn't expecting this to all of a sudden just be like you guys just sitting around and interviewing me and whatnot. But
it was
I mean,
sick, dude. I was just genuinely curious, dude. But now I know. C3 band
I mean, I
coming
thought
soon.
we were just gonna be, I thought it was just gonna be like us just shooting the shit and whatnot. I mean, just talking about other random shit in life and whatnot. But all right, I mean, hey, that's
coming to Seattle.
Shout out Joe Biden. Alrighty, y'all. Thank you to all my soldiers and monkeys for tuning in. That is the Elevate and Penetrate podcast, episode 11, featuring Mr. Jake, the Herney, Kim Jong-un Fernie.
how many times have I told you I'm not related to that sumbitch.